Hey guys, it's Swonsky here, and today we're back in Elite Dangerous, and I'm doing a bit of work towards a community goal. This is the first bounty hunting community goal that we've seen in a while, and it appears that it only went active today. Well, actually that's not correct. We only really found out about it today. It actually went active a few days ago, but there was some sort of mix-up with it being posted to the Galnet and all that sort of thing, and so people didn't actually find out about it. So we only found out about it today, really. It got posted to the forums and all that sort of thing. At the time it was posted to the forums, there was only a couple of days left on it, which made it seem like it was going to be impossible to reach the high tiers or anything. But it has actually been extended. So I think it should have about 5 days left on it at this point, which is pretty good. So this community goal is in HIP 116213, which good luck remembering that. But yeah, as I said, you should be able to find it on the Galnet now. But there are a few kind of problems with it. I guess the first being, it's a community goal where you have to hand in bounty vouchers for like the HIP 116213 system. So you can't hand in Federation or Alliance or Empire bounty vouchers or anything. They have to be specific to that system. The problem is that means you have to get all of the bounty vouchers in that system. Or you may be able to get some of them in surrounding systems if that if that faction has spread into that system. I'm not sure about that, I haven't tried that yet. But for the most part, you're going to be doing all of your bounty hunting in HIP 116213. So that immediately kind of limits your options in terms of where you're going to find NPCs to kill and everything. The second problem, the first problem, I don't even know what number I'm up to. But the problem is there's no resource extraction site in that system, none at all. You've got a nav beacon, and well, that's about it. You've obviously got your NPCs floating around in Super Cruise, which I spent most of this video hunting them down. You also got USSs, and again, I spent most of this video jumping into those as well. So basically all I was doing was interdicting ships in Super Cruise and jumping into USSs. And the problem is there's not that many ships, especially because I was doing it in open mode. We already know really playing in open mode isn't the best way to do community goals. If you want to really work towards those, you're better off doing it in solo. But I was doing it in open mode for the hell of it. And what you might be able to see, I'm not sure what parts of the video I'm going to include yet, but what you might be able to see is sometimes I'll be going towards a ship in Super Cruise to interdict it, and so will 2 other commanders. And so, it's kind of a luck of the draw with who actually gets that interdict. Depending on who's closest, I guess. So that's a bit unfortunate. There's also another problem with this system because it's one of the systems that's under expansion for power play. I think it's the Antal guy. I'm not really sure. Now what that means is there's actually a lot of power play ships in Super Cruise, and it seems, I might be wrong about this is just kind of speculation on my part, but it seems that all of those power play ships, like the NPCs, are kind of limiting the spawns of the other ships, if that makes sense. Because the game is spawning a number of power play ships, there's less wanted ships being spawned, because I'm guessing there's only a certain number of NPCs ships that can be spawned at any one time. I might be completely wrong about that, but what that means is it seems that there's not very many wanted ships flying around in Super Cruise, basically, which does make it a bit of a pain to hunt them down and collect their sweet bounty money. Of course, as I was saying, the other way you can really do it is with USSs. That is quite literally, if I can speak, that's quite literally luck of the draw. You're relying completely on RNG for that. Sometimes you'll jump into a USS and you'll find half a dozen wanted ships, and other times you'll jump in and you'll find some floating bio waste or something. What I did find, because I did a fair few USSs, I didn't find very many high-value targets, basically. I spent over an hour bounty hunting in this system. Like I said, a combination of interdicting and USSs, and I got 160,000 credits. Now, that's not very good. At the time, it was enough to get me into the top 40%, so I guess that shows you how well other people were doing as well. But yeah, it's not very good. So, I don't know, I think this community goal might struggle to reach the high tiers, because I have a feeling a lot of people are going to go there and they'll see there's no resource extraction site, and then they'll turn around and go home, if they even go there at all. So I don't know. I've got a few credits into it now, so at least I'll get something at the very end, but I'm not expecting a whole lot from this community goal, which is a bit unfortunate, but you can't win them all, I guess. I did say that there was a nav beacon in this system, and that is correct, there is a nav beacon, but It seems that bounty hunting at nav beacons is just not profitable at all anymore. Well, it might be profitable, but it's not really worth the time. It used to be that you could make a huge amount of money at nav beacons, but that's going back a fair ways, and that's changed a bit these days. I mean, it's, as we all know, it's if you want to do a lot of bounty hunting, it's resource extraction sites these days, and so when there's no resource extraction site available, well, you know, you're out of luck, I guess. So, but yeah, that's that community goal. It is good to see another community goal. It was kind of, it kind of felt like Frontier had forgotten about them for a little bit, but hopefully with this one we'll start seeing some more combat community goals. There is a mining one running as well at the moment. I don't think that one's going too well, because again I think people are having a go at mining and discovering it's not that good. And that's the end of that, but I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, hopefully we will be seeing some more combat community goals coming up. So what else happened? We had Power Play has finally gone, it's been a month since it went live now, and that means that people have started getting their Power Play items, you know, the special shields, weapons, all that sort of thing. I don't actually have a list of them in front of me. I did a bit of the search trying to find like stats and everything for them. It would have been really nice to just find a spreadsheet listing all the stats and that sort of thing. No such luck, unfortunately. But what I can say is, from reading the forums a fair bit, it seems that most people were rather underwhelmed with the Power Play stuff. I don't know, I can't say it was a huge surprise that they weren't particularly fantastic weapons and items and all that sort of thing. I mean, if they made them a straight up upgrade to all the items that we had at the moment, then there would have been a lot of people not very happy about that. And it probably would have created a lot of balance problems as well. But I think what most people expected was that they would be kind of side grades, you know, so maybe slightly worse in one respect, but better in another respect to the items that they were replacing. You know, example would be, I don't know, let's say the railgun might have been, because I think one of the special weapons is a multi-shot railgun. That sounds about right. So, you know, I suppose in terms of side grades, that's probably actually the best one, so it's probably a bad example to use, because from what I understand, that's actually a somewhat decent weapon, because obviously you get, you know, more shots, but you have less damage, I think. I don't really know. But anyway, the problem is with a lot of these things is they're outright worse than a lot of the items they were kind of supposed to replace, which is obviously left a lot of people not particularly happy. So I don't know. I don't know if we'll see some of these items being balanced or anything like that as the time goes by, or if they'll just be left the way they are. It's really hard to tell. I mean, some of them, to be honest, some of them just kind of feel half-assed. I know there's some of the weapons that they're only available in the small size and they're only available in fixed mounts. And I mean, that might be fine when you're in a Sidewinder or an Eagle or whatever, but a lot of the people who have been working their way up through Power Play are in Pythons and that sort of thing, and I'm sorry, but you're just not going to use a fixed small weapon on a Python, or an Anaconda or an Imperial Clipper. You know, it doesn't really make sense. So I'm not really sure if we'll see more variants for these special items being added later on to kind of make them a bit more versatile or more useful for people or whatever. I'm not really sure. I mean, I can't really go too in-depth talking about stats or anything like that, because as I said, I don't have the stats in front of me, and I don't have any of these weapons myself. I mean, even if I'd been involved in Power Play since the beginning and I'd worked my way up to these, I'd only have one item for whichever power I'd been pledged to, so I still wouldn't really be able to talk about all of them. But yeah, it's what I can say is the sentiment that I've seen amongst a lot of people is they're not particularly impressed, I guess. So as I said, hopefully we'll see those get worked on and tweaked a little bit, but I know for a lot of people working towards those weapons was the only reason they'd kept playing Power Play. So I think it'll actually be really interesting seeing what happens to Power Play now that these weapons have come out, like weapons and items. They're not all weapons, I know, I think there's shields and stuff as well, but they're mostly weapons. But yeah, now that we've seen these weapons come out and they're somewhat underwhelming, it'll be interesting to see if people actually continue playing Power Play or if they just give up on it altogether. I know I see more and more people these days saying that they're no longer pledged. They gave it a go and they didn't quite like it. So yeah, it's going to be interesting seeing what happens with that. But yeah, I think that's all I really wanted to talk about today. So that's the community goal. It's probably worth checking out, but as I was saying, it may end up being more trouble than it's worth trying to really work towards that community goal. So I don't know. It depends how much of a glutton for punishment you are, I suppose. And yes, the Power Play weapons as well. So yeah, I think I'll end this one here. So until next time, I've been Vonsko, hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.